Guys, continuing our playlist towards Python programming. Today we are going to discuss about indexing in strings in Python programming. Okay, so if you are visiting my channel for the first time, please do subscribe to my channel and please press the bell notification icon to get all updates related to my YouTube channel. Okay, so let's get into this. So in our previous videos on Python playlist, we have already discussed about the string operations, string concatenations, and we also saw like how to enter the new line in Python programming. And in our previous other videos, like we have discussed about the data types in Python programming, the basic data types. Okay, so now let's continue our playlist towards Python programming, and now let's see like how to do the indexing in Python programming. Okay, so let's take some example. Okay, so before that I will tell you like indexing in Python usually begins with, not usually, definitely it will begin with indexing in Python begins with 0 if you are doing forward indexing. Okay, so don't worry about what is forward indexing, I will tell you everything. And indexing in Python begins with -1 if you are doing backward indexing, for backward indexing. Okay, so before that I will tell you like what exactly the indexing is. So indexing means like, for suppose if you want to let's give some character. Let's take an example of Johnson. Okay, so let's assume string is equal to Johnson. Okay, so here in Johnson like there are 7 characters. Okay, so if you want to refer the first character in the particular string Johnson, so the first character in this Python programming usually referred with 0th position. Okay, it will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, if you are starting from the end, it will start from basically -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. Okay, so first let's see the length of this particular string. Okay, so the length of this particular string is 7. Okay, so as I told you, like there are 7 characters in this particular string Johnson. Okay, and this is how we count the length of the string. So this is the way where we can find the length of the string by using len of string. Okay, suppose if I want to refer the first character of this particular string Johnson, means like what we have to do. So we'll see like str of 0. So let's see like whether we can use str or whether we have to use string. Okay, so str is a keyword, guys. Like we can't use str because we have already defined a string is equal to Johnson. So now let's refer the first character of this particular string Johnson. Okay, so now let's see like, now let's try to find the first character by using the indexing. Okay, so the first character, as I told you in the Python programming, the indexing usually begins with 0. Okay, suppose if you want to refer like let's see like we'll see the third character. If you want to refer the third character, sorry, if you want to refer the fourth character, you have to give 3. okay, because indexing usually begins with, not usually, it will definitely begin with 0. Okay, so now if you want to refer the fourth character, that is n, here you have to give string of 3. Okay, then it will print the fourth character of that particular string, and it will print n. Okay, now let's see, like, do we get n or not? Okay, now we are getting n. Okay, so this is how we perform indexing in Python programming. As I told you, like, if you are doing forward indexing and backward indexing means what exactly the forward indexing. See, forward indexing means usually you refer the characters from the beginning to end. Okay, and if you are doing the indexing from the end to beginning, that is known as backward indexing. Okay, so now let's take an example by referring from the last character. Okay, I have given -n, so -n means what exactly do we get, guys? So as I told you, forward indexing is starts from 0 and backward indexing starts from -1. So -n means it should refer n, and now it should give the output as n. Now let's see, like, do we get the desired output or not? Yes, we are getting n. Okay, now let's see string of -3, and now let's see, now let's press Ctrl Enter. Yes, we are getting -1, -2, -3. Okay, so this is how we perform indexing in string operations, and this is how we perform forward indexing and backward indexing. So here I will just mention it as forward indexing. Let's mention in comments, guys, forward indexing. Okay, and this one we refer as backward indexing. Okay, this is also backward indexing. Okay, so this is all about indexing in strings in Python programming. Okay, guys, continuing our playlist towards Python programming, and we are continuing our playlist towards Python playlist. Today we are going to discuss about indexing and substring in Python. We have already discussed about indexing in our previous video, but still we are going to elaborate the indexing in Python programming. We'll see some more examples, and we'll also discuss about substring in Python programming. Okay, so if you are visiting my channel for the first time, please do subscribe to my channel and please press the bell notification icon to get all updates related to my YouTube channel. So let's get into this. So in the previous video we have already discussed about indexing, forward indexing and backward indexing, and we also saw about how to represent the new line in Python programming. Okay, so now let's continue our playlist with some more examples and some more options, or you can also say like some more operations related to string in Python programming. Okay, so what I will do is, like, we'll just take some example, because only if we take the example only we can understand this programming concepts and all. Because if we study more theoretical, like, we will not be able to understand anything, because programming is all about coding and taking examples. Okay, so let's take an example of for example, movie equal to we'll define we'll just mention like Titanic. I think you might have all seen the Titanic movie. Any idea, guys, like how many Oscar awards did the Titan movie got? Yeah, exactly, Titanic is the film which got more than 10 Oscar awards. So what is the exact number? I think we the movie got around 11 Oscar awards. Is it so? Let's see. Um, how much Oscar awards for Titanic? I think 11. I think. Not sure. Let's see. Yeah, I think so. 11 Oscar awards. Yeah, 11 Academy Awards. Okay, so that's good that I'm correct. I'm not that good in movies, but still, it was just my guess. Somewhere I read in my school days, because like I used to read a lot of general knowledge in my school days. Like in those days, I just read like Titanic is the movie which got 11 Oscar awards. Okay, okay. Now let's continue our Python programming. I have defined movie is equal to Titanic is the film which got more than 10 Oscar awards. Okay, so now let's try to run this particular cell. Okay, so in the previous not movie, in the previous playlist we have already discussed about string forward indexing, backward indexing on the string. Okay, so now let's take an example. We have already taken the example movie is equal to Titanic is the movie which got more than 10 Oscar awards. Okay, now let's try to find, suppose we have already discussed like indexing in the Python programming starts with 0. Okay, so here t is in 0th position, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so now let's take movie of 0. So movie of 0 means what? We will be getting the output, guys. So exactly we have to get the capital T. Now let's see. Yes, we got the capital T. Suppose if you want more than one character, and any idea? I think we have not discussed this topic, and we are going to discuss now. Any idea, like suppose if we want to print more than one character, just try to guess. Guys, I will also come to that. Okay, so we have print the first character. Suppose if we want to print more than one character. Okay, so here it starts from 0, and suppose if we want this entire Titanic to be printed, so how many characters are there? 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so here we'll give 6 or 7, we'll see with 7. Now let's see like how many characters it might print. Okay, it's printing exactly Titanic. So totally the 7 characters it will be printing. Okay, so we'll just print this. So this is how we do the indexing in Python programming. And suppose if you want only, it should start from IS2, the film means. So what is the code which we use, guys? Any idea? Even I don't know. Let's try it now. So we have started from 0 to 7th. Okay, so here space is the 8th character, so here we have to start from 9. We'll start from 9, and now let's see whether I'm correct or not. Okay, so 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19. I will give it as 19. 9 to 19. Now let's see like how many characters will that print and what will be the output now, and do we get is the film as the output or not. Let's see. We got only yes the film. Okay, so that means like here we have to take it as 8 and we have to print it is the film. So any idea like why 8 here and why 19 here? Okay, so now let's see, because t is the 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 and the space will be the 7th character and the 8th character will be I. So here we have taken 8, so it starts from I, and the M will be the 19th character. Okay, so again let's start from the beginning. 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18. Okay, so since the index starts from 0, so here we give 19 and initially we give 8 since I starts from 8th character. Okay, so here in the end we always give one extra, because since the index starts from 0, and here we always give the number from which we want the characters to be started in the indexing. Okay, so hope you got this particular idea related to indexing. So the only way you get confidence with this indexing, the more you practice, the more you get the confidence and the more you become perfect, guys. Okay, so I just took one example and we just saw like how to slice the characters from the string, or how to slice the number of characters from the string, and we also saw like how to find the length of the particular string in our previous playlist. Suppose if you have already forgotten, let me just try to recall that length of that particular string movie. And so there are 55 characters in this particular string. Titanic is the film which got more than 10 Oscar awards. Okay, so we saw about the string operations, and we also saw the indexing in string, and we also saw like how to find the length of the particular string. Okay, so sorry guys, like we just forgot to discuss on the substring in Python. Okay, suppose again we'll take this same example, or we'll take some other example. Okay, what we'll take? Okay, we'll just take an example of company. Company is equal to Google is one of the best company. Okay, Google is one of the best IT giant, we'll say, because I don't want to again take the company only, because here it's already be given as company, but still we can give Google is one of the best company, but we'll take an example of Google is one of the best IT giant. Okay, we'll just try to run this particular cell. Okay, and I can say like this is one of the interview question also. You might expect this kind of question in interview, guys, if you are attending for any Python developer, or if you are attending any data science domain interview. Okay, suppose they will give one example, they will give it as a string, some sentence. Okay, and suppose if you want to find out, the substring which is present in this particular string. Okay, so let's take an example of Google itself, whether Google string is present in Google in company. Okay, So what I'm trying to do is like whether the Google string is present in this particular company which is assigned with Google is one of the best IT giant. Okay, so here we have to get either true or false. Okay, this is a boolean operation. Okay, so now let's try to run this particular cell. That's true. Okay, so this is how we perform the substring operation in Python programming. Now let's take another example. Google is the string which is present in this particular sentence. Okay, in the company. Now let's take another example. Suppose I will just mention it as Apple in company. So now what might be the output, guys? So we have to get either true or false, whether it is true or false. Exactly, that is false because Apple is not present in this particular sentence. Okay, so this is how we perform the substring operation in Python programming. We have discussed about indexing, and we also discussed about forward indexing, backward indexing in the previous playlists. And in this playlist, like, we just saw some more operations related to the indexing in Python programming, and we also saw the substring operation in Python programming. Okay, so this is the topic which we are going to discuss today, guys, in the Python programming playlist. So first we are going to discuss about upper, and we are going to discuss about lower, and we are also going to discuss about strip. Okay, so don't worry, I will explain you what is upper, what is lower, and what is strip in Python programming. So you might be confused, like what Pavan is studying suddenly upper, lower, and strip and all. So don't worry, I am going to explain you everything in detail. Okay, so let's continue our journey. So these are all the topics which we discussed in our previous classes. Okay, so now let's continue our playlist towards Python programming. Okay, let's add some of the cells. Okay, I think I have already told you how to add the cells in Jupyter Notebook. If you want to add upper cell, you can click here and press A in your keyboard, and if you want to add cells below these cells, lower cells, you can click here and press P. Okay, so let's continue our journey. So as I told you, first we are going to discuss about upper. Okay, so let's mention that in comments, upper. Okay, let's directly start with some example. Let's define some variable string. So let's mention what will mention some we'll just mention not movies, we have already discussed about movies. We'll just mention as sports. Okay, we'll just mention as Indian sports. Okay, so we'll just mention Indian sports is equal to, we'll mention some string Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin Tendulkar is one of the best sportsman. Okay, so we have mentioned Indian sports is equal to Sachin Tendulkar is one of the best sportsman. Okay, so we'll run this particular cell. Okay, so here you can see like Sachin Tendulkar, like here first letter is Sachin, S, and it is in capital. Here Tendulkar, T is in capital, and he is one of the sportsmen. Okay, we'll just not mention in a proper format. We'll just make it some capital letters here and there so that we can play around the Python programming, so that we can take those examples. Okay, and we'll run this particular cell. Okay, suppose if you want to convert all these characters or the letters into capital format. Okay, capital letters means like right, A, B, C, D, E, F. So these are all the capital letters. Okay, so I need not tell all those things. Okay, I'm just giving you an example. Okay, so I will just mention INDIAN sports dot. Okay, suppose if you want to convert everything in capital letter, discuss, as I told you, we are going to discuss about upper. So we'll discuss first about upper, then we'll see everything. Okay, so any idea, like if I run this particular cell, what might be the output? Okay, let's see. So now you can see all the things, all the letters are in capital letters. Okay, this is what we call it as upper in Python programming. Okay, so let's print this now and let's see. Okay, so here you can see Sachin Tendulkar is one of the best sportsmen. Okay, so this is how the upper function works in Python programming. And now let's see the lower, and I will discuss some more operations while we continue our playlist. So we'll take an example of lower, and let's run this particular cell, and I have mentioned this in comments. Okay, so again we'll take this same example, paste it, and we'll run this. As I told you, now we are going to discuss about lower dot. Now if you press tab, you will get so many options, guys. You can select so many options, whichever the option you want. So as of now we are going to discuss about lower, and I'm going to use that lower. Okay, so now if we run this particular cell, now let's see what will happen. Now you can see all the characters are in lower format. So when we used upper format, we can see all the letters converted into upper format. When we used lower format, we can see all the letters converted into the lowercase format. Okay, and now let's try to print this also, and now let's see. So we have finally printed. Okay, and let's add some more cells, because we have some more couple of examples to be discussed today. Okay, and now let's again take this same Indian sports is equal to Sachin Tendulkar is one of the best sportsmen. Okay, so now let's see, and now let's try to use some other options. So we'll try to use capitalize, guys, and now let's see what might be the output. Okay, so let's run this particular cell. So here you can see like only the first letter of the entire sentence is capital, and rest all the letters are in lower format. Okay, so this is all about lower and upper and capital format. Even though I have not mentioned here capital, but still I have discussed about the capitalize. So we'll just mention that in comment section, capitalize. Okay, so this is all about lower, upper, and now let's discuss about strip in Python programming. Okay, so now let's take the same example. We'll take some other example. Okay, so any example can you guess, guys? We'll just what will mention best place, we'll just mention as best place. Okay, best place is equal to Taj Mahal is one of the best place in India. Taj Mahal, anyhow, it's a monument. We'll just remove Taj Mahal and we'll just mention Bangalore. Okay, so best place is equal to Bangalore is one of the best place in India. Okay, so we'll run this particular cell. Okay, so now before we take this example, okay, now let's give some space after India. Okay, so here you can see like I have given some space after India. Okay, and now let's run this particular cell, and suppose if you run this particular cell, what might be the output? You will get Bangalore is the best place in India, and here you can see the space after India. Okay, suppose if you want to print best place without spaces, without removing the spaces here, so we use the option called strip. Okay, so strip is the option which will remove the spaces. Anyhow, the spaces are after India, that is towards right side, so for that we use R strip. Okay, so we'll run this particular cell right now and let's see. Now you can see like the Bangalore is one of the best place in India, even though there is a space here, but space has been removed because we have given R strip. Okay, and you might get a question, suppose if there is a space before Bangalore. Now let's take that particular example. Just imagine there is a space before Bangalore and there is no space after India. Okay, so in this case what we'll do is, instead of R strip we use L strip because the space is towards left side. Okay, so before we use this L strip, we'll just try to run, and now let's see what might be the output. You can see there is a space before Bangalore. Okay, so now let's use L strip, and now let's run this particular cell. Directly run, then we'll try to, yeah, here you can see there is no space before Bangalore, even though there is a space before Bangalore in the best place, but once we used L strip there is no space before Bangalore. Okay, so we'll take one example where we see the space simultaneously exist before Bangalore and after India. We'll just try to see how exactly it works. Suppose if we print this, we can see the space before Bangalore also and after India also. Okay, so now let's try to remove the spaces before Bangalore also and after India also. So here we have to use the option, like we'll just use the option as strip. Okay, and now let's see whether the space would be removed or not. Yes, the space is removed, guys, before Bangalore also and after India also. Okay, So this is all about lower, upper, upper, lower, and even though capitalize is not mentioned, but still I have discussed that, and we have discussed even strip also in Python programming. Okay, so hello, my name is Pavan Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Guys, we are continuing our playlist towards Python programming, and today we are going to discuss some more operations related to the strings in Python programming. So if you are visiting my channel for the first time, please do subscribe to my channel and please press the bell notification icon to get all updates related to my YouTube channel. So let's continue our journey towards Python playlist. Okay, so in our previous videos and in our previous playlist we have discussed about strip. We have also discussed about L strip and R strip in Python programming, and we saw the example which is related to the space, how to represent this particular string variable without space by using L strip, and we also saw the representation using R strip. Okay, and now let's take the same example. Okay, and let's see, instead of space we'll give some kind of special characters. Okay, for example, okay, so here you can see like best place is equal to Bangalore is one of the best place in India. Okay, so here you can see the space before Bangalore, so we'll remove this space and we'll replace with some special characters. We'll replace with any special characters. Okay, you can take dollar. Okay, and here instead of space, here we'll put it some other special character like star. Okay, so now let's run this particular cell. Okay, so suppose if you run this string variable best place, you will get dollar here and you will also see star here. Okay, so you will get the output as it is, whatever it is mentioned here. Okay, suppose if you want to represent this string variable by without using these special characters beginning and after the end of the particular string, means what you have to do is, here we'll just see how to do it. Okay, dot, so left side what kind of special character guys we have a dollar symbol. Okay, so we'll just put it as L strip since it's left side. So what is the special character we have dollar. Okay, and now let's run this particular cell and let's see what kind of output we may get. So here we can see the output, Bangalore is one of the best place in India, and after that we can see the star. Okay, so this is how we remove the special characters, whatever it is present before our expected output. Suppose if you want to remove both, for example we'll take this same example. So here we saw like we removed only the special characters which was in the beginning. So we'll try to see the output. So let's see like how to remove both the special characters, both beginning and ending. Okay, we'll take this best place and we'll just paste it here. So left side we have a special character of dollar which we want to remove it, and right side, sorry, R strip, so right side we have star, so we want to remove that particular special character. Okay, now let's run this particular cell and let's see like whether do we get the output, expected output without any special characters. So we are supposed to get only this as the output. Okay, So let's see, do we get the output or not? Yes, we got the expected output. Bangalore is one of the best places in India. Okay, so this is how we use L strip and R strip to remove the special characters which are present both left side and right side. Okay, so we'll see some other example. Okay, so we'll try to add some more cells and, let's see. Okay, so for example, let's take a is equal to, we'll give some name. We'll just give it as Python, and B is equal to programming, and C as Python programming is one of the mandatory skill to become data scientist. Okay, so for example, scientist, sorry guys. Okay, and suppose if you run this particular cell. Okay, so suppose if you want to represent all three string variables as a one sentence, means what you have to do is print A, B, C. Suppose if you run this particular cell, you are supposed to get the output as Python programming is one of the mandatory skills to become data scientist. Okay, let's see, like, do we get the expected output or not? Yes, we got the expected output. Okay, so we'll see one of the alternative and the most professional way to represent this. Okay, so for example, we'll give it as 0. I will tell you like why we are using 0, 1, dot format, B, C. Okay, now let's see, like, do we, what kind of output we may get, and after getting the output, I will tell you like why we got that particular output. Okay, let's see. So here we got the same output. Python programming is one of the mandatory skills in order to become the data scientist. Okay, so any idea like why we used 0, 1, 2 here, and why we gave the format of ABC? Okay, so exactly guys, since we already discussed indexing in Python programming starts with 0. Okay, so I have taken format ABC. Okay, so 0 is referred to as Python, 1 is referred to as programming, 2 is referred to as is one of the mandatory skills in order to become the data scientist. Okay, so this is one of the most professional way which is used by the programmers if you want to represent all the string variables in a particular line. Okay, what we'll mention as so it's one of the way to represent the string variable in a, we'll just mention as a string concatenation. Okay, so this is the format used by the professional programmers. Okay, since this looks pretty little bit difficult, but this is the most easiest way. You can just print it as print a comma b comma c, so that you will get the same output. Okay, so we'll just paste it here and we'll run it again. Okay, so that's all about this particular video, guys. So this is all about the continuation of string operations. We have used special characters, and we have also uh, represent without special characters. So whenever there is a special characters, like we can represent the particular string without the special characters, both left and right. And we also saw some kind of string concatenation, and we also saw one of the most professional way of representing the by using the string concatenation operation. Okay, hello, my name is Pavan Kumar and welcome to my YouTube channel. Guys, today in this particular video we are going to discuss about the most important topic in Python programming, that is data structures in Python programming. Okay, so before we begin our main topic, if you are visiting my channel for the first time, please do subscribe to my channel and please press the bell notification icon to get all updates related to my YouTube channel. And if you really like this particular video, please do hit the like button and please do support to my YouTube channel. Okay, so let's begin our journey towards data structures in Python programming. Okay, so in our previous videos we have already seen string concatenation, we have used L strip, R strip, everything and all. Okay, so today we are going to continue with data structures in Python programming. So data structures are very much important if you are attending any Python related interviews. Structures. Okay, so data structures are very important, guys, if you are attending any interview related to Python, or if you are attending any data science interviews. So data structures are very important. So you have to be very thorough with data structures, then only you can crack the interview, guys, because this plays a major role in understanding the programming language. Okay, so before we begin our main topic, so first we have to understand what is data structure. Okay, so I will just mention it in comments. Data structures are the particular way where we can store the data in a computer in a very effective way or in a effective manner. Okay, suppose if you want what exactly the data structures are in a exact format so that you can answer in interview is, we'll just see what exactly the data structures if you are preparing for the interview. Okay, so data structures are the way for organizing data so that it can be accessed more efficiently depending upon the situation. So this is the exact definition of data structures for your interview purpose. Okay, so I just gave a definition based on my own words. So data structures are a way of organizing a data so that it can be accessed more efficiently depending upon the situation. Okay, so there are 4 built-in data structures in Python programming. So I will just mention those built-in data structures. I will just mention it as DS in Python, so which is lists, tuples, set and dictionary. Okay, so we'll understand everything step by step. First we'll understand what is list, then we'll see tuples, set and dictionary. Okay, so data structures are the way of organizing the data in a computer so that it can be used effectively depending upon the situation. Okay, So we have already seen a string operations like string 1. We have used examples like string 1 is equal to, we have given the input like which is the capital city of India. Okay, so we have given examples like this. We'll recall that particular example and we'll see like how it can be used with respect to data structures. Okay, so we have used string 1 is equal to, which is the capital city of India. String 2 is equal to, we'll give some input which part of India does it belongs to. Okay, so which part of India, I will just mention it as capital city belongs to. Okay, I have given space at the end so that we can read in an effective way. So sorry guys, I just mentioned the string 2, I just forgot to mention G. Okay, so now let's run this particular cell. So which is the capital city of India, guys? It's in New Delhi. I will just give it as Delhi. And which part of India capital city belongs to, I will mention as North. Okay, and we'll press enter. Okay, so here we have seen string 1 can store a value of data as Delhi. String 2 can store the value as North. Okay, suppose, is there any way where we can store these two values in a single variable? Is there any way, guys? Yes, definitely there is a way, and the way is by using lists. List is a data structure in Python programming where we can store more than one variable in a single list. Lists are the data structures in Python programming where we can store more than 2 or 3 string variables in a single list. Okay, so here we have seen only string 1 can store the value of Delhi and string 2 can store the value of North. Now let's perform the operation by storing these two values in a single list. Okay, so let's take an example of list is equal to. So whenever you are using the lists, you have to use square bracket. We'll just mention it as string 1 comma string 2. Now let's see like whether it can display the output both the values of string 1 and string 2. We have run that particular cell. Now let's print this particular value. We'll just see first whether do we get the desired output or not, then we'll print the particular value. Okay, so now let's run this particular cell. Yes, it can store both the values Delhi and North. So now let's print this particular list. Yes, we got the desired output. So lists are the data structures in Python programming which can store more than 2 or 3 string values, or can store more than 3 or 4 values, string values in a single list. Okay, so this is all about the string, this is all about lists in Python programming. So this is one of the built-in data structures in Python programming. So in the coming videos we'll discuss about the other built-in data structures, that is tuples, set and dictionary. Okay, So I hope you like this particular video. Please do hit the like button if you really like this particular video, and please do subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Hello all, my name is Pavan Kumar and welcome to my YouTube channel. Guys, today in this particular video we are going to discuss about indexing in list, and we are going to continue our playlist towards Python programming, and we are going to continue our topics towards Python playlist. Okay, so if you are visiting my channel for the first time, please do subscribe to my channel and please press the bell notification icon to get all updates related to my YouTube channel. And if you really like this particular video, please do hit the like button and please do support to my YouTube channel. Okay, so let's begin our main topic, and our topic is indexing in lists in Python programming. So we already started data structures in Python programming, and we also discussed about lists. So we'll discuss some more topics related to lists in Python programming. Okay, so we already saw like what is list, and how we can store the different variables in single list. Okay, so now let's try to take an example of one more list, and let's see like how we can perform indexing in lists. Okay, so for example we'll take yum. Okay, so yum is equal to, we'll define a list. Okay, so we'll define some string variable, like we'll just mention summer. Okay, and we'll give some number here. We'll take a mix of both string and number, and let's perform the indexing in lists. Okay, summer I have taken, let's take it as winter, and again we'll give some number. I will give it as 74, and again we'll take some string, summer, winter, and we'll give it as spring. Okay, and again we'll give some number 63, and we'll give 100. Okay, now let's try to run this particular cell. Okay, so now let's try to see. Yes, we can see summer 45, winter 74, spring 63, and 100. Okay, suppose if we want to access the first item of this particular list, means we have to use our same rule. Indexing in Python always starts with 0. Suppose if you try to mention m of 0, means what it has to print. Let's see, we are supposed to get the output as summer. Let's see like do we get the output or not. Yes, we got the output as summer. Okay, suppose if you want to access third element of the list, then what is the option, guys? Just try to guess it. So for summer we gave it as 0. Suppose if you want winter, do we have to give 2 or 3? Exactly, we have to give it as 2, because as I told you, indexing always starts with 0, 0, 1, 2. Okay, so now let's try to run this particular cell. We got the output as winter. Okay, so we saw like how to perform indexing in lists in Python, and now let's try to see some more examples. Suppose if you want the first 3 items of this particular lists, then what is the option, guys? You want first 3 items, or you can say first 3 elements of this particular list. So if you want first 3 elements, you have to give it as 0 to 3. Now let's see like do we get the first 3 items. Like we are supposed to get summer, 45 and winter. Let's see, like, do we get the output or not? Yes, we got the output. So this is how we perform this is called indexing in lists, and this one we can call it as slicing in lists in Python. Okay, and we can also perform backward indexing also. Suppose if you want the last element, let's try to perform backward indexing. Let's see, like, let's give it as -1. Now let's see, like, do we get 100 or not? Yes, we got the 100. So this is the backward indexing in lists. We can also perform forward indexing as well as backward indexing. So the one more speciality of the lists in Python programming is we can define one more list inside a list. So we have already defined m is equal to sum or 45 something and all. Okay, now let's try to take this, let's try to copy that, and now let's try to paste it here. Okay, so now inside this list we'll define one more list. Okay, so whether it can have a number also, or it can have a string also, or it can be mix of both. So we'll just try to give some numbers. We'll just try to give 12 and we'll give some 15. Okay, and now let's try to run this particular cell. Do we get the output or not? Otherwise we'll get some error. Please. Yes, we can define a list inside a list. So this is known as nested list. Okay, this is known as nested lists in data structures in Python programming. Okay, so here also we can perform indexing in the same way like what we have performed here, and we can also access the whichever the elements or whichever the data we want from that particular list. Let's try to perform indexing. Okay, let's try to perform indexing on this nested list. Okay, we'll try to give it as -1, and now let's see like what kind of output we may get. We are getting both. And now suppose if you want to print only this particular value, that is 12, in this particular list, means what we have to do, guys? Any idea? Okay, suppose if I give -1, it will give both the values 12 and 15. Suppose if I want to print only 12, or if I want to print only 15, what is the option? Okay, now let's try to see how to extract that particular value. Suppose if I want only 12, like so, here means we have to give it as 0, because 0 is 12 and 1 is 15. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, we got the particular output. Okay, and suppose if you want 15 means you have to give it as -1 of 1. Okay, so that's all about indexing in lists in Python programming in data.